Hello friends, let us look into another example of calculation of effective access time whenever TLB is used in between. So here we have considered the hit ratio alpha equal to 99%, that is 99% of the time page is available on 20 on the TLB, and epsilon is 20 nanoseconds, that is amount of time required for TLB search, and 100 nanosecond is for memory access. So here we can observe the effective access time is 0.99 is 99% of this into 100 nanoseconds if it is present here. Otherwise 0.01 remaining 1 minus 0.99 is giving you 0.01 into 2 times of the memory access time, that is 100. When it is present on the main memory, then we require 200 nanoseconds rather than the 100. So totally it leads to a time of 101 nanosecond. Well, so let us look into memory protection. It is implemented by associating a protection bit with each frame to indicate if read only or read write access is allowed for that particular frame. We can also add more number of bits to indicate even whether it is execute, as we do with the file read, write and executable. So let us consider valid and invalid bit which is attached to the each entry in the page table. Valid indicates that the associated page is in the process access. Invalid indicates that the page is not in the process logical address space. It is not accessible by that particular process. Or we can use the page table length register in order to verify this. So you can observe here along with the page number whether that particular page can access the that particular frame can be accessible or not. It is written by valid and invalid. You can observe sixth page is not accessible. It is filled with the invalid bit I. And whereas page number 0 to 5 are given the access to certain frames, it is set with the valid bit as V. So they can access this particular location. So let us go for shared pages. Shared pages is a concept wherein the same page can be shared by more than one process. Shared copy, one copy of read-only code is shared among multiple processes like text editors, compilers, Windows systems, etc. Private code and private data, each process is keeping a separate copy of the private code and data. The pages are private to that particular process only. So let us look into an example here. So this is the pages required by process P1. We are naming them as editor 1, editor 2, editor 3 and data 1, and the page table for P1 is 3461. Whereas you can observe process P3 is also sharing the editor 1, 2, 3, and it is having its own data in data 3. And similarly process P, and this is accessed, you can see editor 1, 2, 3 are stored in 3, 4, 6. So these pages are also accessible by process P3. Similarly they are accessible by P2 also. The same frame numbers are filled in the page table as well. So data 1, editor 1, editor 2, editor 3 stored at what frame numbers 3, 4, 6 are accessible by all the three processes, whereas there what private data are stored in the different frames. This is how shared pages can be used by a different number of processes that we can see. Yeah. How to design a page table, what can be its structure, that we'll see here. Let us consider a scenario wherein 32-bit logical address space is used. The page size of 4 KB if we consider, then we can have how many pages, that is 2 raised to 12. I guess 2 raised to 12 is the 2 raised to 12 is the bits, I guess 2 raised to 10 is 1 kilobyte and 2 raised to 2 is 4, right? So for 4 KB we require 2 raised to 12 bits. We have a logical address space of 32-bit. So 32-bit logical address space can have a addresses of 2 raised to 32. Then we can have a page table of million entries. How I can say a million entries is, we have a total memory of 2 raised to 32 and we are breaking it into a block of size 2 raised to 12 bits. each, that is 4 KB each, then we'll be having 2 raised to 32 divided by 2 raised to 12, that is 2 raised to 20 is nothing but 1 million entries. So if each entry is requiring 4 bytes, then 4 megabytes of address space is required to store the page table itself. We are not talking about amount of memory required by the process, rather it is amount of memory required to store the page table itself, right? That amount of memory is used to cost a lot. Don't want to allocate that contiguously in a main memory, so we cannot give such a large amount of memory to store the page table itself. So we can use the structures like hierarchical paging, hashed page tables, and the inverted page table. So what we are talking about here is how to store the page table. Page table itself will be of a larger size, as you can observe in this particular example. So hierarchical page table, here we are breaking up the logical address space into multiple page tables. A simple technique is 2-level page table. Then we are paging the page table itself. So here it is a 2-level page table. It is what it is doing is 1 to 500 entries are stored in one table, then remaining are stored here, then it is storing certain entries here, right? So this is containing the address of in turn the page table. We are not directly storing all of them into one page table, rather paging of a page table is done at the 2-level, outer page table and inner page table. So this block is containing these entries of the page table, and this is containing entries for this part of the page table likewise. 2-level paging example, as you can observe, if we have a logical address of 32-bit machine with 1K page size, then we can have a page number consisting of 2 raised to 22 bits. The reason is 10 bits for page size itself are going. So how we are breaking it up into is, since the page table is page, the page number is further divided. We have a 22 bits for representation of a page, because we are left out with a 2 raised to 22. 1 kilobyte is a page size. If I subtract this, I'll get it as a 22. So that 22 is represented here as 12-bit page number is divided into 22 is divided into 12 and 10. 12-bit is used for the outer page number in the outer page table, and 10 bits are used for the inner page table, and remaining 10 are used for the offset, used as an offset. So if I have a 32-bit machine address, then this is how it is broken into 12 plus 10 plus 10. So page number is divided into two parts. This is the page number to access the outer page table. This is the page number to access the inner page table, second level page table. So P is into the outer index into outer page table. P2 is the displacement within page of the inner page table. So this is known as forward mapped page table. So this is the address translation scheme. P1 is giving you outer page table, then it is moving to P2, and within this where it has to move, that is given by P2, and then after that displacement within the page is given by the third part of the logical address. So just remember, in first case we have broken it into two parts, whereas in 2-level page table we are having 3 parts. So if it is a 64-bit logical address, this is the way it is broken into, as you can observe. 42 plus 10 plus 12. 3-level paging scheme, can also be varied as 32, 10, 10 and 12 in case of 3-level, and this is for 2-level. So we'll look into another concept called as a hash table. Rather than storing it as an array, we can store it as using a hash function also, where each entry is a linked list. This is the way it is done. Let me move for inverted page table. This is the architecture. Process ID, page number and displacement is given, and this is going for searching in a page table. Here it is again getting a page number, and then it is found with the identifier. This is added with the displacement to get the inverted page table, and that is going to get a actual address on the physical memory. So next class we will look into segmentation. Thank you.